Good morning, everybody. Hope you'll join us tonight. Parsha Unpacked. It's a great class. We go through the whole Parsha, we break it down, and we investigate and explore messages, themes, ideas that are relevant to today. So I hope you'll join us for that. Going back to what we were discussing yesterday, though, because this is really important, very critical to understanding not only this six of the six mitzvahs, the mitzvah of not to follow after our eyes and our heart, but really critical to understanding life as a Jew in general. And that is that there is a struggle, an ongoing struggle. We find ourselves locked in an ongoing battle. And that is the battle between choosing spiritual pleasure and physical pleasure. And at every moment in my life, I have to make a decision. And they're on a continuum. It's a spectrum. It's either I go in the direction of the spiritual, I go in the direction of the physical, but it's constant. It's a constant battle and it's a constant struggle. Now, here's something that's so key that you have to really understand. Physical pleasure, by definition, since it's in a sense a counterfeit form of pleasure, it's not the higher level of pleasure, it's the lower level of pleasure. Because it doesn't lead me to self-fulfillment, self-realization, self-actualization. It leads me to eating something that tastes really good or doing something that feels really good. But in the end, that doesn't change me as a person. So it's got less to offer in a spiritual sense. It's got less to offer in a self-actualization sense. But in order for me to have free will, in order to choose between the physical pleasure and the spiritual pleasure, by definition, the physical pleasure must have more to offer me right now in the sense of immediate gratification. Because if it didn't, I would never choose it, and I wouldn't have free will. Let me give you an example. You're going out for lunch, okay, and you can make a choice. Either you can go to some kind of salad bar and have some, kale salad with quinoa and whatever it is. And I'm sure it's really healthy. I have no doubt. But let's be honest. How does it taste? Okay, so that's one option. Option number two is to go get a couple greasy slices of pizza and some fries, and that is going to taste really good. Or substitute it for whatever you like to eat that's unhealthy. Okay, that's what I like to eat that's unhealthy, but it's not going to be good for me. And now I have to choose. Do I do what's good for me or do I do what tastes good? Imagine for a minute if we lived in a world where that greasy pizza and fries was actually healthier for you than the kale quinoa salad. That would be a great world to live in. But just imagine that. Would there ever be a reason why I would ever choose the kale quinoa salad if the pizza and fries were healthier for me, considering how much better they taste? Of course not. That'd be ridiculous. The only reason why I have a choice is because one's healthy and one tastes good. The exact same thing is true, but when I'm choosing between spiritual pleasure and physical pleasure by definition is always going to have to taste better. It's going to have something to offer me right now in the sense of immediate gratification that the spiritual pleasure is not going to offer me. And now I have to make a choice. Do I delay immediate gratification? Do I invest in my future, in becoming me, in the development of myself, in aligning myself with my spiritual goals and my higher essence, and give up the physical pleasure and choose the spiritual pleasure? Or do I take the other approach and say, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this pleasure right now at the expense of my essence and at the expense of me becoming who I am. That is the basic understanding of every choice that we make in life between spiritual and physical pleasures. And the sixth mitzvah of the sixth constant mitzvah says, Lo sasuru acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem. Don't follow after your eyes and your heart. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sacrifice who you can be and who you have the potential to be and your essence and spiritual pleasure for the immediately low-hanging fruit gratification of physical pleasure. That's what it means.